Welcome to Storytime with Grandma Kate. It's wonderful to be back with another Junie B. Jones book. And today we're going to start Junie B. Jones Has a Peep in Her Pocket. In this video, I'm going to be reading chapters 1, 2, and 3. So if you haven't already, click subscribe to my channel, Storytime with Grandma Kate. Go ahead and do that now. And that way, when I post the next few chapters, you'll have them right away on your YouTube feed. So today's book it's like a throwback. I know I've read some Junie B. Jones where she's in first grade, and this one she's actually in kindergarten. And her class goes on a field trip to the zoo. She decides she wants to take something home with her. Can you guess what it is? Let's find out. So we're going to start with chapter 1, and that's called Confusing Stuff. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. I am almost 6 years old. Almost 6 is when you get to go to school. And so last summer, Mother took me to the school office, and she rolled me in afternoon kindergarten. Rolled is the grown-up word for signed me up and made me go. She means enrolled, not rolled. There she is. She doesn't look real happy. Look at that hat. The devil horns. Only guess what? I don't even mind going there hardly, 'cause I made 2 bestest friends at that place, that's why. And their names are Lucille and that Grace. We are like 3 peas in a row. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs. And that's all. I'm going to stop for a minute and clean my glasses because they are dirty. Do we ever find out what Mrs.'s real last name is? I don't remember. If you remember, email me. I'm going to put my email in the link below so you can write to me with story suggestions. But if you ever remember, or if you know what Mrs.'s name is, I'd like to know too. Only here is the trouble. Just when I was getting good at kindergarten, Mrs. made an announcement to our class. And she said that pretty soon school is going to end. I did a gasp at that terrible news. No, Mrs. No, no, no. How can school end? 'Cause Mother said I have to go to school till I am an old teenager, and I am not even 6 years old yet. Mrs. Quick shook her head. Oh, I'm sorry, Junie B., she said. I'm afraid you've misunderstood me. School isn't going to end forever. School will just be taking a summer vacation. She smiled at me. You and everyone else in this class will come back to school in September. It's just that you won't be in room 9 anymore. I quick got out a pen and crayon. Okie doke, then tell me the name of our new room, I said, 'cause I will need to tell Mother where to bring me. Mrs. did a little frown. I'm sorry, she said again, but right now I have no idea what room you'll be in next year. I did a frown too. So what am I supposed to do then? Just wander around the school until I find you people? Mrs. looked funny at me. You still don't understand, she said. Next year, you're going to have a different teacher, Junie B. Next year, you're going to be in first. First what? I asked. First grade, she said. Just then, my stomach felt sickish inside. 'Cause I don't even like first graders, that's why. First graders are bullies to me at recess. I don't want to be in the same room as those guys. Pretty soon a boy named William started to sniffle very much, because William hates first graders even more than me. That's because one time a first grader stole William's winter hat with the ear flaps, and he put it on a dog that was running around the playground, and the dog ran away with William's ear flap hat forever. I patted William very nice. Me and William don't want to be in the same room as first graders, I told Mrs. Me and William prefer children our own age. There's a picture of the class. Let's see here. That's Junie B. That's Lucille. That's William. I wonder if that's May. Let's find out. That boys, I don't know. Me too, said my bestest friend Lucille. I prefer children my own age too. Me too, hollered a boy named Polly Allen Puffer. Me too, said a girl named Charlotte. Mrs. said, shh, to us. Boys and girls, please. Now everyone is misunderstanding me, she said. We need to get clear on this right now. Next year, when you come back to school, you will not be in class with the children who are first graders this year. Next year, those children will move up to second grade, and you people will move to first. Understand? I thought about that. And then all of a sudden, a light bulb came on in my head. Ooh, I get it now. All the kids move up, right, Mrs.? Everybody does. Mrs. clapped her hands. Right, exactly, she said, very happy. Now, may I please get on with my announcement? I brushed my skirt, very polite. Yes, you may, I said, real polite. Okay, said Mrs. As I started to tell you earlier, I have very happy news for room 9, because this year, for the very first time ever, we are going to go on a special end of the year field trip. She smiled real big. We're going to a farm. Doesn't that sound like fun? A farm, shouted the children. A farm, a farm. We're going to a farm. Then Lucille hugged me, very thrilled. A farm, she said real squealy in my ear. A farm, I said real glum, because guess what? Farms are not my favorite. Let's find out. We're going to read chapter 2 called Stubby. That night, I ate dinner with Mother and Daddy and my baby brother named Ollie. Only I couldn't even swallow that good, because I was still upset about the field trip, that's why. I don't want to go, I said. I don't want to go to the farm with room 9, because a farm is the most dangerous place I ever heard of. Daddy looked surprised at me. What are you talking about, Junie B? He said. What's dangerous about a farm? The ponies, of course, I said. The ponies are dangerous. Farms have ponies running in their fields, and ponies can stomple you to the ground and kill you to death. Mother covered her face with her hands. No, Junie B, please, not this pony thing again. We've talked about this 100 times. I've told you over and over that ponies do not hurt you. Yes, they do too hurt you, Mother, I said. I saw it on TV with my own eyeballs. Mother looked at Daddy. It was that stupid cable show the babysitter let her watch, she said. It was called When Ponies Attack, I hollered. It was called When Ponies Attack. After that, Daddy covered his face too. And then all of a sudden, he busted out in a loud hoot of laughing, and he couldn't even stop himself. Mother's cheeks sucked their way into her head. Thank you, she said. You're being a huge help here. Then Daddy got up from his chair and he went to his room for a timeout. That's when me and Mother had another long talk about ponies. She told me that her Uncle Billy used to have a farm, and that the farm had a pony named Stubby, and that Stubby was gentle as a lamb. As a matter of fact, Uncle Billy Whoops, did I skip a word? Yes. As a matter of fact, Uncle Billy had almost every kind of farm animal you can think of, Mother said. Pigs and cows and sheep and chickens and goats. He even had a mean old rooster named Spurs. But out of all those animals, the pony was the sweetest. Mother smiled. You would have loved Stubby, Junie B, she said. He used to follow me around like a puppy. He did? I asked. He did, she said back. Honest, honey, I would never let you go to a farm if there was even the teensiest chance you would be hurt by any of the animals. But my Uncle Billy's farm had the gentlest animals I ever saw. Mother smiled a little bit. Well, except for that mean old rooster anyway, she said. Just then, Daddy came back into the kitchen. He said apology to me. I'm sorry, Junie B. I didn't mean to laugh, but that TV show you saw was just so ridiculous, I couldn't help it. After that, he sat down at the table and he filled out my permission slip for the farm. You're gonna love this trip, he told me. We'll get you one of those little throwaway cameras from the drugstore, and you can take pictures of all the animals that you see. Great idea, said Mother. And I'll take you shopping for a brand new pair of overalls, and I'll even pack you your very favorite lunch. After that, I got down from my chair very quiet. and I went to my room. Then I climbed under my bed and I hugged my stuffed animals real tight because I kept on thinking and thinking about what Mother said about Uncle Billy's animals. But mostly, I kept thinking about that mean old rooster. On account of one time at my school, a boy named Meanie Jim brought his rooster for pet day. He said that roosters can peck your head into a nub. That is not pleasant, I tell you. I hugged my animals even tighter. Because guess what? Roosters are a jillion times scarier than ponies. She was kind of scared. I can tell in this book that Junie B is young. You know, in the Junie B first grader books, you can tell she's a little bit more self-assured and confident. But in the kindergarten ones, I forget how she's just a little girl, isn't she? Just a normal little girl. We're going to read one more chapter called Pictures. The next day, Mother called me for breakfast. Good morning, said Mother. Morning, said Daddy. Good morning, I said. Roosters can peck your head into a nub. Daddy put down his coffee cup. Excuse me? I pointed to my head. A nub, I explained. A nub is a teensy little knob head, and roosters can peck your head into one. Mother looked strange at me. What in the world is this about? I did a big breath at her, because how can I even be clearer on this subject? A nub, a roundish, ballish head knob, and do not tell me that roosters do not peck you. On account of we had pet day at my school, and Meanie Jim brought a rooster to room 9, and that boy is a rooster expert, I tell you. I looked at her. Plus also, you said Uncle Billy's rooster was mean too. Right, Mother? Remember that? Mother looked frustrated at me, and then she put her head on the table, and she didn't come up for a real long time. Do you know what Junie B means when she said Mother looked frustrated at her? She meant frustrated. Remember, we talked about frustrated in a video, I think it was sometime last year, how frustrated means like you're angry and impatient at the same time. Finally, she peeked her eyes at Daddy. Now what? She said, kind of quiet. Maybe it'll blow over, said Daddy. I shook my head. No, it will not blow over, I told them, because roosters do not listen to reason, and so there is nothing we can do about this pecking situation. Daddy rubbed his eyes. Could we please just change the subject, he said. Yeah, only not talking about a nub will not make it go away, I said. And so that's enough, said Daddy, very growly. I quick stopped talking then. But even after we changed the subject, nubs kept staying on my mind. That day at school, Mrs. told us to draw a picture of our trip to the farm. She said to make it a colorful picture of what we wanted to see there. I drawed and drawed, plus also I colored and I colored. And when all of us got done with our pictures, we sat in our chairs in a big circle, and we told each other about what we drew. My bestest friend named Lucille went first. She drawed a picture of a pink flamingo. Flamingos are my favorite animal, she said. That's because pink is my favorite color, and flamingos are pink, and I have a pink dress that will match them perfectly. So that is the dress that I will be wearing on our field trip. She wrinkled her nose real cute. Pink brings out the natural blush of my complexion, she told Mrs. Have you ever noticed my satiny smooth skin? Mrs. looked and looked at that girl. You're a fascinating child, Lucille, but I'm afraid there aren't any flamingos at our dairy farm, she said. Lucille looked surprised. So where are they then? She asked. Well, flamingos can be found a lot of places, said Mrs. South America, for example. Lucille shrugged her shoulders. So fine, we'll just go there instead. Mrs. said for Lucille to please sit down. Just then, Polly Allen Puffer springed out of his chair. Look, teacher, I drew a catfish, he said. See his whiskers? My brother said catfish whiskers are so sharp they can slice your finger to the bone. Mrs. made a sick face. Oh. Well, thank you for sharing that, Polly Ann, but we're not going fishing. We're going to a farm, remember? Polly Allen Puffer looked upset. Yes, but my brother said there are lots of catfish farms around here, and so that's the kind of farm I think we should go to. No, Polly. No, said Mrs. We're just going to a regular, plain old farm with regular, plain old farm animals. Polly Allen Puffer did a mad breath. He said the word big whoop. After that, Polly Allen Puffer had to stand in the hall. Mrs. did some deep breathing. Please, children, please, did anyone in room 9 draw a picture of a regular farm animal? Anyone at all? I mean, that's all I'm looking for, just a regular old farm animal. I did, Mrs. I yelled real excited. I drew a picture of a rooster under a tree. Here's her picture. The tree looks interesting, doesn't it? It's kind of on its side. I wonder if that's Polly Allen. He kind of looks like he would say big whoop, don't you think? Big whoop means big deal. Oh, Junie B, thank you. That's perfect, she said. I holded it up so she could see it. See it, Mrs.? See how pretty it is? Mrs. looked at my picture. Oh, yes, that's very nice, Junie B, she said. But why is it lying on its side? It crashed over in a rainstorm, I said. Oh, said Mrs. Oh, dear. She looked even closer. But I'm afraid I don't see the rooster, honey. I pointed. There, I said. See his foot under the branch? He did not get out in time, apparently. Mrs. covered her mouth with her hand. And just then, a girl named Charlotte hollered, I hate that picture. That's a terrible picture. I crossed my arms at that girl. You would not say that if your head was a nub, sister, I said. Mimi Jim laughed real loud. And then Mrs. said for all of us to take our chairs back to our tables. And we did not show any more farm pictures. So you can tell how Junie B doesn't really care about roosters, does she? She had a devious little plan for that poor rooster. But in our next chapter, speaking of roosters, in our next video, we're going to be reading Cockle-Doodly-Doo. That's chapter 4. And chapter 5, which is called E-I-E-I-O. And then chapter 6, which is called Farmer Flores. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will put a link to this book at our local library in the description below, as well as my email address. If you have any suggestions or comments, go ahead and email me, and I'd be happy to read a book for you someday soon. So until I see you at our next story time, have a great day.